They will steal money. They will build houses, mansions, houses that ordinarily they can't maintain without access to public fund. They will become relics in few years. Houses that are so huge because they are stolen money. They buy themselves latest automobiles that ordinarily they would have to bring all the parts. If anything happened to them, they would need to go back to the countries they got them from and import the parts to fix them or abandon the car entirely, go and steal another money and buy themselves the latest one. The moment they are out of government, closer to money, this public fund, everything they get becomes so old, so fast. Relics. But in the process of stealing and taking from you, they are denying millions of children access to school. Not just access to schools, but access to good quality education where they hire good teachers. Do you understand? Not just building classrooms, so the one they barely build anyway, but like higher standard good teachers to raise good citizens for them, well paid teachers, doctors. All these things will serve millions of people than how rich they are. Because they take the money, the ones they are not using to build houses in Nigeria, they go abroad to buy properties in millions of dollars, houses that they are paying different taxes on in these countries, houses they barely live. So imagine all your criminal politicians and their properties abroad. Eh? They'll be running the lights, running the heating, paying this local tax, that local tax, maintenance. They will be doing all of that all year round from the money they are stealing from the poor people in the local government area, in the poor Ekiti local government or Zamfara local government, where people barely have access to common paracetamol when they go to their clinics. But somebody is their governor. He's got property in London. He's got properties in America. He's got one in Dubai. He's got one in Abuja. He's got properties everywhere that he barely leaves. So why would you respect people like that? Why do you have to respect people like that? I do know why though. Because so many of you see yourselves in them. And that is why they say the criminals you saw yesterday and the ones you have today, right? They will always be worse than the ones you are. The ones you have yesterday, the ones you have today will be worse than the yesterday because everybody is learning the level of the looting, becoming expert, right? Uh, Compromise the system so bad enough that their loot, their crime can be protected by the courts. It affects everybody. It does. It affects you. I was telling a friend that a few days ago, you know, I was like, these criminals have done so much damages to Nigerians, and therefore they've succeeded in destroying institutions that could have built trust in the people, institutions that people will have trust in. And this is a bit of, how close you can get to having um, trust in your own country. They've succeeded in turning the place to, like a graveyard where if you have your own opportunity, you better scrap, better take whatever you can take. Go build a different life for yourself out there. With a wiki from local government chairman in River State, Obiakpo local government, to a multi-billionaire today. He has never invented anything. He has never created or provided any service, solved any problem that you can say turned him to multi-billionaire, but public fund. And he is not alone. His wife, she's a judge, of course, and we all know why and how she became a judge. They bought properties, not one, not two, three properties in America in the names of their children who have never worked in their lives. These are kids, though. But maybe not anymore, you know. And this information is public. The institutions that are supposed to see them before you and I. Do you know that some of this corruption thing, we're not really supposed to be seeing them in the media before the concerned institution in Nigeria. But no, you will see it in the media. And you start calling the EFCC, EFCC, can't you see this? EFCC, do something. They will ignore you like it's nothing because the system protects the criminals. Where the Wike was with Sheung, I was with the Sheung 2 days ago, and similar question was asked him. I think I have his response.
Is it your son that they said that you gave land to?
That I gave
the expanse of land to
2,000 hectares in Asokoro.
Yeah. Is that what happened?
And then what is the square meter of the whole of Asokoro? There's some news here. He said, please, I don't need to cross-check this. You know, you just see them, people try to make all kinds of allegations here and there. Well, you know, yeah, when they say that they rush me in an ambulance, I have a heart attack.
But you visited your doctors when you traveled?
Yeah, which
doctor? Didn't you?
Which doctor? What's the name of the doctor?
Well, you just returned to the country.
So, look, I've never traveled. I have to go and stay on holiday with my wife and my children. For the first time, I went to Dubai with my children, with my wife, beautiful wife in that matter. I traveled with my wife and children to Greece. From Greece, we just down to London, enjoying my life. And because I know there are a lot of work, which I've started today. 2 weeks flagging up and commissioning again. Come on, I need a break.
You didn't go to the house you were said to have bought in the United States. With all the records.
There's no record. It's not, that's why. As a government, when they pay bribe to people like Shore, with all due respect, like Shore, with all due respect, if there's anybody who does not like to travel to America, it's me. Ask anybody. My wife is an American. My children are American. Their parents, my wife are Americans. For Christ's sake, in 2007, this issue came up. That, my wife, I said, what's my business? Let anybody show me where I bought a house, which I can't pass through. If my wife and the parents are saying, look, these are our grandchildren. We give this house to you. My wife, now they are still teenagers. Hold it in trust for them. Let anybody in this world say, the money passed through, I can be, so I can Z. When I was running election, this matter came up. When my wife was to become found at the court of appeal, this matter, so all kinds of things. I saw this, well, it had been found that Wike put, so they have what how many millions?
That's an awful lot of property there.
Why not ask yourself, can they publish it?
No, it's been published.
It's not published. It's not correct. That's a show where it's not correct. Why they put this, this house?
But is the house not in the name of your wife and children?
What is my business?
You don't know what your wife and children own?
What I'm saying is this: they are all Americans. My wife's parents are Americans. So, if they gave them a house, what's my business? I never bought any house.
Million of dollars worth of property.
You call these millions as if we are talking about thousands, which I can't believe us. Who bought it in their name? You see, it is not in Nigeria here where you can buy something and you can hide it. You cannot buy a house of even $100,000 that the documentation will not show. Let anybody say, this, look at the money passed through Nyesom Wike's account, or it passed through his friend's account. See, let anybody say so. This thing they are talking about from 2008. 2008. They will carry it as if, as I was a governor, as I was a minister. Nothing like that. It's not correct. But that is not my business. If anybody else, bring it up. It's not when I take a decision to do something. In order to divert attention, you go and say, yes, we did this. Oh, he gave his son 2,000 hectares of land in Asokoro. I mean, what kind of stories are that? Bring the document.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Because it's not me and you that should investigate him. Did you hear the madman? His children are Americans. Hey, my father-in-law. Ah, man, Nigeria politicians need luck. Like they are so lucky. Oh. If you are a Nigerian politician watching me, alaye, any luck gone. I swear. Ah, but the day that this whole thing will come to an end, one need confidence, one need, I don't understand. Like, Willie Wike was saying it on TV there, that if my father-in-law says, okay, for my grandchildren, take this, take $2 million house in March 2025. He said it's 2008. Oh God. It's a story. Let them publish it. It's already published. We have all the documents, everything. Yeah. In the name of Evelyn Abikiloroko Yahweh, Evelyn Nyesom Wike. In the name of his children, 3 children, 2 boys, 1 girl, 3 properties. L'America, your father's father. I mean, sorry, your wife's father, Abba. But you say, but it's not for me. It's okay. It's published. So what are we going to do? What do you think you and I can do? Nothing. And he knows that. He knows there are nothing we can do. Very soon now, everybody will forget about that. And it will be one of those. Like, so he did. That was how you just be compiling it. But the real institution, they should look into it. The ones that are supposed to publish it and say, well, we have this info, we have that info, and the rest of it. You get his own accountant general of Rivers State, appointed by Willie Wike, was declared wanted by the EFCC. They nearly grabbed him, right? That Willie Wike had to make him the governorship candidate of his PDP, his own successor. So for 2 things. 1, he was able to put Fubara inside government house for 14 months, 1 year and 2 months before the end of his tenure as governor, because they declared him wanted. They believed that with the Wike had immunity, Fubara did not have one. So once they grabbed him, 425 billion naira swapped from the Rivers State government account that they said it couldn't be traced. And with the Wike had immunity. So if they grabbed Fubara, whose signature appeared on the transfer as well, he will confess. They grabbed 2 other people too, by the way. It wasn't just him. It was the principal one before Wike. Fubara had to be living inside government house since 2022 until Wike left on the 29th of May, 2023. And Fubara had immunity covered him. That case that got the EFCC to declare, is somewhere code locked up. So this one is public. This one is like, sure you get. Meanwhile, none of it is ever been probed or what have you. So where the Wike can face any camera anywhere in the world and say, they're just making shit up about me. Oh, that property, well, it's not in my name. It's in my wife's name. It's in my son. So, I didn't buy it. Go show me the account where I transferred the money myself. He doesn't have to transfer the money himself. Come on, man. But he knows. You get that now, like, as long as he remained in the good book of Tifnumbu, rather than for him to be prosecuted himself, his wife, his children, This is why some of you are like sometimes you say, leave their children out of it. Well, you are daft, you, and I have no apology. Seriously, their children, they are the same as their parents. Trust me. Those ones who wants to be seen in public and those ones who prefer to just not be seen, they are all the same. And when I say all the same, I mean they know their parents, they know what they are up to. Most of the monies they are stealing, looting, and putting everywhere, most of these are putting their names, their children. And that's why their children have never been productive by any means to Nigeria. No. They will loot money in Nigeria to send their children abroad for the best education money can buy. And then you would expect that since they are the ones who are very rich and their children schooled abroad, that they would have the best expertise, the best education, the best ideas. And they are also the ones in power who have all the influence to change anything, right? So they can put their children there to come and replicate these beautiful ideas, the educations they have. You see them now, they post the pictures of their children graduating abroad. But have you ever seen any of their children except when they go back to Nigeria and become commissioners, special advisors, so that they continue to leech on the system? They have no value to add, nothing. It is just to leech on the system. Every opportunity they can create is to leech and steal from the system themselves. Not like, oh, this one, so they sent him is a accountant. So this one is a top researcher. And that one is a tech guru. This, and they bring all of them back, fix them in places, and use their influence to make sure that they change the country. No. It's unfortunate. That's the way I see them, though. Right? Like parents, like their children. They live large. They enjoy the money. So there's nothing like we need to leave their children out of it. If you don't like his father, at least if you don't like his father, let us concentrate on his father. The children have nothing to do with you. Are just a dafty. You have that mindset. It's not hating. It is identifying the real culprits behind every other problem that you probably have to tell us. They're all in on it. Unfortunately. My wife and children are Americans. So, like, we are talking about the properties you got in March 2020, the one you got in September, and the one September 2024, March 2025. These are two properties in Florida. Your wife, how much, like, your wife is a millionaire or a billionaire? Of course, we will know why she will be a billionaire. You get what I mean? But like I said, me and you, we don't have the investigation power. The people that should, that possibly could stop a lot of them, are very much in on it as well, unfortunately. Yeah. So again, I said that we could take calls this evening, right? The chance is still open, okay? But I'm going to show you something else. This time, it is Shitty Man. This will be the second time. This one is just an observation, by the way. So this will be the second time that Tinubu would avoid Trump's America. The last time was last year when the United Nations General Assembly meeting, I think. Yeah. So he sent Shitty Man at the last minute. Shiwere said that Wike was even planning to go for a follow-up medical check, believing that Tinubu will be going for this particular one. Then last minute, he also boycotted and they had to send a Shitty Man. So there are speculations, and there will always be though, right? Some said that Tinubu is doing everything to avoid Trump's America, not when Trump is there. And maybe that would make some sense. I don't know. America is still America. It's being protected. So I just probably is trying to avoid any Trump's embarrassment or something. And it is United Nations, right? Even Russia, they go United Nations whenever they wanted to. So Kalu said that shitty man should do it. And this was him on his way.